the 2nd of December. And I'm dating it. Because like a lot of things that we do here with David Solomon to my right, and I'm on the left, at least I think I'm on the left, but I'm really not. David and I have been talking about issues for the last 2 years, typically ahead of the curve. We talked about Elon Musk. We talked about Twitter. We talked about the media just being one-sided. And in general, David and I are not just one-trick ponies, Trump, 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 because really we're far from it. And David talked about it while I was gone. But it is also important to know that we do believe in the freedom of speech. We believe that freedom of speech is a value that isn't only your right in the United States or Canada, it is your right in the world. You should be able to say what you feel. David, Elon Musk seems to be saying a whole lot of stuff and has a lot of people upside down. What do you got? David?
Well, I'll tell you something, Stuart. You said interesting there about freedom of speech. Can you hear me? Hopefully you hear me, guys. Stuart, we're good? All right. So we're here at freedom of speech. Said something very interesting about freedom of speech. It's everybody should be able to say whatever they want. But that's actually not the definition of freedom of speech. Freedom of speech is really about not including hate, not including, false statements. You are allowed to express an opinion, but you are not allowed to do whatever you want. That's the misnomer of free speech. The problem I have here right now with this entire conversation about Twitter, ever since that Elon Musk has purchased Twitter, has been the debate about what is free speech and who controls it. The word control comes into play. And this is what is very frustrating. The unfortunate thing with what has happened with the liberal mindset, the left mindset, has been all about controlling the message. What they loved was that Twitter, Facebook, and other forms of social media have permitted the left to express what they want, how they want, when they want, in the manner in which is suitable to them. However, as soon as someone says there's another opinion, please note I said opinion, or wants to drive a factual remark, they're being shot down. And it's the technology partner has partnered with the left to shut down these messaging. This is not free speech. This is control speech. This is 1984, George Orwell. This is what it is. It's an Orwellian mindset. Now, I'm going to put it this way. Elon Musk has been ripped and criticized numerous times since his purchase of Twitter as the threat to free speech. Correction. He is the threat to controlled speech. He is the threat to the left and to the liberals who've had nothing but free game, free reign for years. Years. We saw what happened with the Hunter Biden laptop. We've seen what happened when you talk about COVID. We've seen a whole bunch of different things. However, the second Elon Musk puts on the other side, it's a threat to free speech. And you know what, Stuart? Let me one more point. What is amazing is that Elon Musk recently gave back to Donald Trump his account. Imagine that. This is what I was talking about, free speech. Donald Trump was not permitted to be on Twitter, but the Ayatollah of Iran, other terrorist groups can be there. We've said this numerous times, but that is controlled speech. The left has no problem. As long as it doesn't impact them, they have no problem. Yep. So if I want to talk about climate control and I say, I don't agree with you, I am anti-free speech. Stuart, this is where I applaud Elon Musk for leveling the playing field and permitting dialogue and debate.
Well, I don't know if the true story's out. There's a left and right side to this. The right side media has Fox News. The left has every other news organization that you can name. Elon Musk hard to believe, is not a Democrat nor a Republican. He's a libertarian, right? And he's about, reducing taxation and increasing efficiency. The definition of freedom of speech, which is the legal right to express. Now, the left and the right want to censor that one issue because the legal right to express yourself free of censorship and free of any legal action. Okay? That's the real definition. This whole thing about hate is an extra paragraph added to the definition of freedom of speech. Elon Musk is really trying to recreate this platform, and he has to from the ground up. Like many news agencies need to be scrapped from the ground up, which include CNN, ABC, CBS, and even Fox News. They've gone too polarizing, or MSNBC, left them out. They've gone too polarizing and lost focus on the definition of what news is. News has nothing to do with freedom of speech. It has to do with information and the availability of that information without censorship. So when you go to freedom of speech, I think we got to break down what is the problem today that wasn't the problem 50 years ago. The censorship and the bias of the agencies that provide the information. So you're right, Google, YouTube, Facebook barred us because we mentioned the word COVID-19, which they may do with this broadcast. Elon Musk wants to remove that step, as far as I understand it. But again, it's a privately held company. He has a right to do what he wants. Elizabeth Warren has a problem with him having the sole access in his dark room. But Elizabeth Warren, you have pretty much a dark room where you live and where you work because you do things in a vacuum. Elon Musk is doing things with a broad base, not a narrow base.
Here's the thing, Stuart. And you know what? You mentioned Elon, and let me give you one more thing. Elon was criticized because he gave Kanye West back his Twitter account. Well, he just took it away. He just took it away because Kanye West put his foot in his mouth. Did Facebook cancel Kanye West? Instagram? Snapchat? Nope. So my question to everybody is, if free speech is what you really push for, then you also promote, by extension, then hate speech. This is what you've accepted. As long as it fits your narrative, hate speech is acceptable.
So you brought up the Ayatollah Khomeini. What about the communist China, communist Russia, Vladimir Putin? The war in the Ukraine, which is very much important today because Vladimir Putin and his disciples have been running a media war since before February, where we told the world there was a war. And David, I hear you're going to be cutting some snips and we're going to be putting them up because we were ahead of this news curve. We basically predicted that Russia declared war. And you know what? Vladimir Putin has been fighting, I hate to say it, a news war as well as a bombing campaign.
But you know what? But Twitter,
just like the political parties here in the United States and you in Canada, Dave.
But Stuart, you talk about Russia. Let me talk about China. China does not permit certain social media that it can't control. And people are going to say, "Oh no, that's not true," and why are you being racist or whatever. Folks, check it out. WhatsApp isn't
iPhone.
Okay? So the thing is, Stuart, that if we really believe in free speech, again, let's believe in free speech, then there are multiple sides to an argument. If you only want one side, it is no longer free. It is controlled. And to the Elizabeth Warrens and the Bidens of this world, but also to the news media. And CBS, and we talked about this, pulled out of Twitter on a Friday saying, we're going to watch it, we're going to see it, blah, 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 blah. And on Sunday they were back. Twitter is a very powerful medium. If you want to get your message across, it's a very powerful medium. But what Elon Musk has said is, I'm no longer giving one side free reign. I want to give multiple sides equal opportunity to express themselves. You cross a line like a Kanye West, we pull the plug. Now, I'm sorry to say this, but if that doesn't fit an AOC who shit on crap all over, Elon Musk in a personal attack, if it does, then get off. And you know what? Whoopi Goldberg, Jim Carrey, Alyssa Milano, and so on, and all these other wasted, useless, old, gone, they're dead to us all stars as they used to be. You want to get off Twitter and this is what you want to make your stand in? Go. Leave.
Yeah.
Bye. Yeah. Don't let the door
Hey.
hit your ass on the way out. But at the end of the day, Stu, at the end of the day, if you this is the choice you have. This is the beauty of being in our countries. You don't like it, leave.
Yep. And David, like in the United States, we're a republic, which differs from you in Canada. Here, if you don't like the state you're in, find another state. Listen, China, if you really think it's better in China, go move to China. I mean, what's the big deal? It's easy, it's cheap.
But the thing is that Twitter, what Elon Musk has done, was expose the fallacy, Stuart, you and I have been talking about for over almost 2 years. The fallacy is that there isn't just one side. When a Stephen Colbert stands up on his show and jokes and laughs or whatever, and everybody says, those are facts, someone's got to go back and say, those are not facts. And when MSNBC's Jen Psaki makes her left-leaning, anti-right remarks, and she's been fabulous at it, someone's got to call her out. And if the media isn't willing to call its own out, then Twitter is a great platform to do it. And that's what it's evolved into. And you know what? It's not about I'm on Fox's side, CNN's side. That's not it. Facts must be valid. You got to support it. Why do we tell university students? This is the funny thing. You go to university and you present a paper. If you don't cite your sources, A, it's plagiarism, and B, it's an opinion. It isn't fact. So how come you can when you leave university, you could do and say whatever you want, unvetted? Well, Twitter, congratulations, is starting to vet. It's starting to look at and starting to get to the point where they're saying, you know what? What we heard for 2 years from COVID-19 may not be entirely, and I use the word may not be entirely fact. And what you heard about Hunter Biden may have been hidden by the FBI and other sources. And it's not about spreading false news. And the Russian collusion that they alleged for so many years may have not been fact. These were sequestered by the previous owners of Twitter. They're being shut down by YouTubes and Facebook and the like. And there is no way to expose these fallacies because they have the control on the buttons. Kudos to Elon Musk for going out and saying, I want to balance the playing field. That's all he's asked for.
David, we talked about Walter Cronkite about 8 months ago. And, you can't have a story without both sides. And it's something that all agencies that are out there that call themselves information, news, tabloids, fail to understand that without expressing two sides, you're not getting the real story. And that's no different. That's no different than Russia or China.
They don't care. The left doesn't care. The liberals don't care. The Elizabeth Warrens do not care. The Bidens don't care. All they care about is that their opinion and their messaging is the only one that matters. Not yours, not mine, no one else's. If you do not conform to their viewpoints, you are the enemy, you are spreading falsehoods, and you need to be canceled and shut down. And that is where I applaud Elon Musk for finally saying, no more, folks. We're done. And this is where Twitter has to be. And you know what, Stuart? I haven't been on Twitter in years. And I waited to see how Elon was going to act. You know what? I'm contemplating going back because I think that the playing field is finally fairer than it's ever been.
David, I started it. Why don't you finish it?
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the end of our week. We applaud your guys, your continuous support. We appreciate your downloads of our podcast, the constant views, and what have you. We're in higher and higher demand, and the word is finally spreading about the Rant Network. Thank you very much for helping us out. We look forward to seeing you guys on Monday. Stay well and have a great weekend.